email that I tried to share with all of the resources. So for example, if I were to design a biology lesson, I would go to 7th through 12th grade science videos. I would go to biology 23. This is part of the free resources that they've offered to everyone. And I've tried different ways to forward that email. Just at the, it seems like when I'm sending it, all you get is maybe a picture and this hot dog menu, and you have to expand it to see the resources. So there are resources, and here is chapter 23, and you can actually play a teacher teaching the lesson. So she's nice, she's peppy, she's cheerful. She gives you the why. I could go into the resources that we paid for as the Daniel Academy that I'm the admin for, and I could go into chapter 23, and I could highlight, and I could have Zira read the text to the kids. Kids kind of like it because they make fun of her voice and read the words that she's messing up. The other advantage of this is that I can make note cards, so I can highlight. There I highlighted nervous system and created a flashcard. I made it with the deck 23 because this is chapter 23. And then I copied the definition, which I had to go on 2 pages to do. I copied it and pasted it over here, went to the next page, copied and pasted the rest of it over here, and now I have a flashcard so that I can study later. Okay, and then the advantage of me teaching from the teacher's manual online is I can highlight with my Zoom capabilities. I can circle things, and then I can give the screen to my student, and they can highlight and circle and answer question form, as well as they can also text and write very scientific things like I just did. Okay, it's late. And okay, so that's the advantage of using the ebook, which is only available in the Teacher Tools online in the paid part of the program. The ebook has to be purchased by the student if they are to use it for their bookshelf at their home. Oops, I've got to change that too. Okay, so I have all of the resources. So basically everything, there we go, everything that BJU has ever made. I have access to all grades. These are the grades that I've highlighted. And here is the test. Now, what I like about the BJU tests is that they give me the page that the answers are on. All right, so for an accommodation, instead of them reading through 100 pages and of technical words, they can go through and they can read, critically read, and memorize as they're reading the definitions and the answers, instead of reading through and having to absorb and summarize and then find facts and definitions. They can go through and find the page number and do it in reversed order, which really puts it into their long-term memory without all of the heavy labor of all of the extra words. It's kind of like a where's Walter? Oh, you know, do you memorize the whole picture plus all of the details, or do you just memorize the details? And for the SOAR kids, that is a very appropriate accommodation. Downloaded for free the 7-zip file manager, and it unzipped it, and then I went down to here and I found, well, here's chapter 22. Here's a blank test for 23. Here is an answer key test for 23. And so I think, which are super, super good, super helpful. So we have the details, and then I can go to the next one and just memorize and fill in the details and do that as many times as it takes for us to get it right. That would be something that I would do during our class time. And it goes through all of the diagrams that will be taught. I have in my classes in my past, I've had a couple technicians and a nurse graduate from my program and then go into the nursing programs. So this is not an impossibility for SOAR kids. SOAR kids are super gifted. They just do not learn in a traditional manner. Some of the kids that have gone through my program are super, super focused and super spirit-led, and I would rather have them partner with the Holy Spirit and meet me in the emergency room than some of the kids I went to college with that could memorize everything, but that didn't have any common sense, any practical knowledge. All the same graphics and the same kinds of things that are in the book, so that they are not having to see a completely different image or a 3D image, or all of a sudden they were looking at a 3D image and now it's a 2D image, which is what happens when you go in between different texts and find different sources, which is super hard for my kids to sort through. Okay, so we've got visuals to help memorize. We have a test that I would just give as a straight test. And then we have, okay, so here's a review quiz. I would have the kids go through then, take this quiz, page numbers. I would go ahead and put the page numbers in so that they can actually memorize what's important and not memorize anything that's not important. And so I would use the quizzes and the reviews as their practice and to put information into their memory. I would use the videos to introduce the concepts and to give them their why and the questions that they may want answered as they discover the information. And then if they still didn't understand some of the concepts, I would go through the textbook and have the have Zari, or whatever her name was, or David, who is equally as mechanical, read the text to them. And but with the end in view, in that they're looking for these specific answers. And then which is critical listening skills, which is a super important life skill. And then I would actually give them the test. The blessing to us, BJU has put all of the classes, all their curriculum online. or not their curriculum, but all of their videos of each of their lessons online. So you can literally go through this resource, find what you need. Here's, I think we do a Becca for math. Maybe we do science. We should be like at least halfway through the year. So maybe on chapter 7. And here would be, this is a first grade, yep, science video. It's Mrs. Overly. Music, graphics. And Cara Burnett's mother. Okay. I'm going to call it a night. Good night. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.